So wouldn't it be nice to live a peaceful life? To not have any worries? To know that all is well? To know that only good can and will happen? There are two ways to pursue this life, to make it happen. The first way is to crawl in a hole. Go live in a cave somewhere, get rid of internet, stop watching TV, stop listening to the radio. But of course, if you want to choose that lifestyle, you've got to forget about talking with your friends. You can't see your family anymore because they're all going to bring news in. I don't know how much isolation is an option. There are days I feel like it could be, but we really don't want to go that route, because isolation is not, we're not made for that. We aren't designed for that. Being creations of God, we weren't created to do that. So that's really not an option. The other option is to find a new way of perceiving and interacting with the world. I pride myself on being able to perceive things differently. I think I do a pretty darn good job of it. And for the most part, I do a good enough job that my experience of life is good. It's pretty good. And even though I sit here and tell you that I think that I do a pretty good job of it, I still get caught up in the chaos of the world. I catch myself watching too many news clips. I catch myself listening to the neighbors ranting about something. I turn all that off, and then I catch myself walking through the store and just overhearing a conversation of somebody griping about something. We're bombarded with all of this. No matter what your lifestyle, if you are interacting with the world in any way, you're getting hit with the chaos. And not all the chaos is negative. I'm not going to. A lot of it is. There's a lot of, especially if you're watching the news, a lot of it is negative. But the chaos, good, bad, or indifferent, is just the bombardment of things happening to us. And what happens is when all this stuff starts bombarding us, it's very difficult to stay in that peaceful state of mind. Even if it's a bunch of good. Billy was talking earlier about they had 2 different parties to go to yesterday. Parties are fun. When you got 2 and the distance between the 2 are spread out, it becomes a little chaotic. It becomes almost a chore. So like I said, even good stuff can add to the chaos, can add to the lack of peace. What happens when we get stuck in those things? We start judging. Now, I didn't hear Billy say this, but I'm sure that it was very easy for the distance between the 2 parties to be something that's judged. It's like, if these were just closer together, this would be a lot more fun. This would be easier. This would be, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden we're judging the situation, and judgment blocks us from feeling the good. It doesn't mean that she went to a negative place and didn't come back from it. It means that in that moment, the judgment knocks out the good. When we're in that judgment, we get into that right versus wrong mentality. We get into that It's not saying that one party is right, one party was wrong, or even that the distance was right or wrong. It's that this judgment puts us in a place where we're thinking right and wrong. So, I'm going to give you a tool just before we get into this too far that will change everything in your life. It's choose to be happy rather than right. Choose to be happy rather than right. Because what happens when we get in this judgment, we start getting into, I should feel this, or this should be this way, or this should. A dear friend of mine says, stop shooting all over the place. You got to be real careful saying that.
Yeah.
Stop shooting all over the place. There is no should. There's no right way. And there's no wrong way. It's either a way that works or a way that doesn't work. It's a way that makes you happy or a way that doesn't make you happy. If you keep choosing ways that don't make you happy, if you keep choosing ways that don't work, your life's not going to be very peaceful. So the indicator is choose what makes you happy. But look at it on a core level. Don't let it just be a material thing. I mean, sure, material happiness is great. But look deeper than that when you're doing this. When we get into that judgment zone, that should zone, we get into I'm doing it right or I'm doing it wrong. It also puts us in a place of we've got to win. And maybe we're not competing against somebody else, but we're competing against the situation. We feel like we've got to win. When we feel like we've got to win, we let go of being happy. There's a lot of people out there. In fact, a family member told me one time when I told them about this tool, winning makes me happy. Well, temporarily. When you start looking at what's happening to the person who didn't win, maybe not so much, because if you're going to win, then somebody's got to lose. If you're going to be right, somebody's got to be wrong. You know, broaden your thinking. Think about it that way. When we let go of the need to win, when we let go of the need to be right, we allow peace. And when we allow peace, we open our minds, our hearts, our souls to divine guidance. If we're in that winning state of mind, if we're in that right-wrong state of mind, we are not receiving the guidance that is available to us. We're not opening to the infinite wisdom that's within us. We often get so caught up in it that we miss how life could be. We don't even entertain a thought of what if? Or as Kathy does, I wonder. We take away our ability to get curious and to imagine. And folks, curiosity and imagination help lead to a peaceful way of living, because curiosity and imagination blow out the right wrong mentality, the judgments. Because if I'm getting curious about something, the judgments go away because I'm looking at every option. And when I'm looking at every option, I can allow that divine guidance to lead me to the right answer for me. We get so hung up into comparing today to the good old days that we do the same thing. You know, this doesn't feel like that judgment. This doesn't feel like the right or wrong. But boy, this is big. This is huge right now. You hear it all the time, is we need to be back to the way it used to be. Folks, the only thing that doesn't change, the only thing that doesn't evolve is the infinite presence, wisdom, and power of God. That does not change. Our awareness of it changes. Our understanding of it changes. Our ability to tap into it and use it changes. But that's the only thing that does not change. Everything else evolves. I'm guilty of this. Thinking about the good old, back in the day. Well, back in the day, that was awesome. But it was meant for then, not now. When we catch ourselves doing that, we sometimes beat ourselves up a bit. We sometimes get out, well, I shouldn't be doing that. Well, there's that should again. We can just remind ourselves, that was then, this is now. Back then, when that was happening, was I struggling to have that experience? Did it feel bad? Did it feel right? Did it feel... That was then. This is now. We look to the good that is happening right now. The world and life changes. When we refuse to change, we refuse to exist. The example of that is found in many corporations that were around 10 years ago that aren't around now. 15 years ago, not now. 3 years ago, not now. Major corporations. Radio Shack comes to mind. That comes to mind because I was watching a video about our RV channel the other day, and they pulled into a tiny little town somewhere. I don't remember now where it was, but it was just off the beaten path, and there's this big Radio Shack sign up there. They go, oh my gosh, I hadn't seen a Radio Shack in years. They go running up there, and the sign was still there, but it was a laundromat. Radio Shack, there was a CompUSA, I mean, all kinds of stuff. They're gone because they refused to change. They refused to evolve. The world changes. Our egoic mind speaks so loudly, telling us that we're right. We know what's right. That we just explode our ability to see options. We kill our ability to consider something different. So check in with yourself as you're, even if you just love watching the news. I'm not saying the news is bad. I am saying that if you only watch one station, that you're not getting the news. I think I mentioned this in one of the videos a couple of weeks ago, is we were in a situation where we were with some people that watched news that we don't normally watch. And this media was talking about a story, and the media that I typically watch was talking about the same exact story. The facts were the same, but the opinions that they present as facts were totally different. Totally different. And it makes me go, okay, let's find, and what the truth is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. So yeah, if you watch the same station over and over and over again, you are not getting the truth. You'll get this much fact, this much, and this much opinion, but this much opinion is presented as fact. And in most of our conversations, this much of opinion comes across as fact. It's not. It's not. But our minds get so caught up in, this is right. And if this is right, then all the rest of us got to be wrong. We get so caught up in that we don't hear truth. We don't even consider what truth is. When we look at the happenings around the world as an indicator of how life is, it's hard to see how we can even consider evolving to greater good. When we do realize there's a chance to evolve towards greater good, but look to the happenings of this world as a way to find answers and guidance, we get caught up in the chaos. we get caught up in the good old days again. We cannot look to this world for truth. We can't even look to it for good and peace. Because it's not until we find true peace, true love, true good, which is God, which is within us, and realize that peace and that love and that truth, that good, become aware of it, know it within us, and then let that be our experience and our expression. It's not until we do that that we start seeing the peace and the love and the good that's available in this world. So we have to look within first. We have to look to truth first. Then we can look out in the world. How can we express into that? How can we express our love into that? There's only one way to experience greater good. You must open awareness to the one divine presence. You must know the peace and the love of God that is always within you, expressing in you, expressing through you, expressing as you, and then allow that to be the expression that you express that in the world, and allow that to be the lens through which you see the world. Living life from this truth, with this awareness, your experience of life unfolds peacefully, judgment fades away, and what you once saw as wrong is now seen as something that may not work for you. When you start seeing things as not working for you as opposed to wrong, it's easier to find that middle ground where true progress is made. You see, we watch all this stuff on the news, whatever side of the political aisle you're on, we watch it and we tend to fight what the other side is doing. That does nothing. It feels like we're doing something. Hey, I found this post about this right here. I posted it so that other people will know what's going on. All that's doing is either making other people mad or making other people very happy. Depends on who's reading it. We've got such a divide in this country right now, and even in this world, that we've got to stop doing that. Stop promoting what you don't like. Instead, promote love, promote peace, promote joy and good. And by doing that, you start living peace and love and good. You start living a more peaceful life. You start expanding love into the world instead of expanding the hate, the wrong that you see. When you change your whole perception and your whole attitude, difficult situations will still be difficult. Difficult people may still be difficult, but with peace and love and wisdom within you, we don't fall into the stress and the chaos of all of that. We fall into understanding. And see, when I see Joe down the block as a human instead of a wrong person, when I see his thoughts and his expressions as something that just doesn't work for me, as opposed to wrong, I don't get into the anger. I don't even come close to hate. I see somebody that I can have a conversation with. Whether they listen to me or not is not important. That conversation, whether it's actually said out loud or not, is not even important. My conversation with that person is, I see the good in you. I now see them as a human being. And when I see somebody as a human being, that's something I can work with. Mindful connection with divine presence is in your life opens your awareness to truth in all. Awareness of your oneness with the divine elevates your faith in goodness, love, and peace. And as you align yourself with God, only good unfolds. We keep forgetting. The only truth is the divine truth. The only thing that can literally hurt us on the soul level is a division in our understanding between us and God. Once we open that back up, once our awareness of God within, once our awareness of truth within opens up, nothing has the power to hurt us in any way. We get caught thinking on this human level, this tiny little speck in the moment of our eternity as being truth. It's just part of our experience. So turn back to allowing your expression into this world, your awareness of this world, your experience of this world to being one that is divine, that is love, that is good, that is peaceful. Choose to be happy rather than right. And be a loving expression into this world, because when you do that, you show other people how to do the same, and you invite them to do the same. Not all of them will. But when you smile at somebody, more times than not, they'll smile back. And that's an expression of love. So be an expression of truth into this world and move more peacefully through your life.